everybody! Guess who's back? Yes, hello there! Silverbolt returning to your screens like that bad smell you hope would go away when you cleaned out your pipes. I have returned to the world of YouTube for a video simply entitled, Where the hell have you been? Well, as you can imagine, and as you can see, quite a lot's changed, not including yours truly. To be completely honest, 2011, quite possibly the worst year of my life. Actually, no, there is no quite possibly. It was the worst year of my life. Between my grandfather dying, between losing my job, between my father's sickness and then losing him to cancer, and then everything else that went on after that, to being unemployed till November, and then to those of you who don't know, most of you, myself and Philly split up for reasons I'm not going into. The people who know about it, the people who don't need to know. No offence to anyone. So suffice to say that 2011 was quite possibly the worst year of my life. Roll on to October 2012, which is roughly where we are. Well, I'd say roughly, it is where we are now. And to those of you who remember my Creo video, I apologise firstly if this comes across as a bit tinny and not very loud. It's a very unique complaint for me, but I'm currently happening to record this off my mobile phone because I live in the west of Ireland. Scotland doesn't have anywhere that sells video cameras, and I don't have one at this moment in time. So we're doing it like this, for now. Right then, so, yes, let's see, 2011, 2010, lost my grandfather, 2011, lost my job, lost my dad, relationship broke down, I was in a very, 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 very dark place. So, what have I been doing up to now? Well, she's hot, I'll tell you that much. Anyway, to give you an idea, come January, once the whole thing with myself and Philly had been resolved by the emotional upheaval of it all, I decided that it was time for me to do something that I'd wanted to do for quite a while, and move back to Ireland, to the west of Ireland, and that was about the February time, and I decided, you know what, time to stop faffing around and just get on with it. I mean, there was nothing to keep me in Birmingham anymore apart from my immediate family and my friends. And without meaning to sound harsh, that was no longer enough. Birmingham had become a place that was basically had a lot of bad memories, especially over the last few years, for reasons that I don't really need to go into the ins and outs. Suffice to say, I was not very well up here, and I was not very well in here. And it came to the point where it was basically put up and shut up time. So, in that time, I not only, as you can tell, lost an absolute shitload of weight, about 3 stone actually, and that, I have to admit, that was mostly through stress. Which is ironic, because that's probably where I put on the worst of the stone, because I think by about Christmas time of 2011, I was probably in the region of about 14 stone. I now top the scales at just an 11. Which means I can wiggle those hips, baby! So I lost a lot of weight, I gave up smoking, I joined the gym, I pretty much turned everything about myself completely around. And the thing that happened to do lastly was move to Ireland. And I moved home because my grandmother was elderly and she needed someone to help look after her, and I wanted to move back. It was quite a mutual arrangement, and, you know, I had very good friends here. I met someone very new. She's very special. Been going together now for a good few months. Looks like it's going very, very well, and long promising future appears to be in the making between myself and her. That's all very good. Of course, in the meantime, of course, you know, you can't just up and leave. Now, when I moved to Birmingham originally, when I left Roscommon originally, back in 2000, I packed a bag and got on a bus. That's what I did at the age of 20. At the age of 31, then it was a case of getting housing arrangements sorted for Birmingham, which was another fucking nightmare that I got left with, but there we go. You know, I had to cancel phone contracts, pay off bills, pay off loans, credit cards, electricity bills, gas bills, internet was Adam's name. All that had to be sorted out and was an absolute bloody nightmare, and it took about 3 months to do and get everything sorted. In the meantime, of course, I had a little bit of a problem in that I had in the region of 600 Transformer toys, actually possibly more. I think I've doubled my eBay feedback over the course of 3 months, and they all had to go. I always said, well, I mostly said it about Fort Max, but I always did say that my Transformers collection was a nest egg. It was something, admittedly I said it in case I needed something like a new kidney. But I guess in some regards it was taking a powder money. And so I began selling all them. And I did quite well out of it. I probably got back roughly in the region of what I paid for them. I'm not going to go into the exact figures of how much I made off them, but it was considerable. I would admit I'm going to give a big shout out. I don't know who he is. I can't remember his name. I don't even know if he watches these videos. In fact, he probably doesn't. But he bought about 300 quid's worth of stuff off me off eBay. He lived in Nottingham. And then he came to my house and bought all my alternators, nearly all my classics, all my fans project, all my Energon, all my Armada, all my Cybertron. Lots of little bits and pieces he bought, and he dropped £3 in cash on me. That guy is a legend because not only did he give me a great big fat wad of cash, but he saved me so much time and hassle and energy of listing things and photographing things and posting things. The post office must have seen me coming and wanting to run because I'd come in with these giant, massive carrier bags of, well, not even carrier bags, but, wood carrying bags, Costco bags, full of parcels that had to go to everywhere. Mostly the UK, but some to the States, some to Japan, some to China. I think a few went to Australia, all over Europe. I sold a lot of stuff over the course of 3 months. And between February to the beginning of June, I sold nearly everything. And it's a good job that I started doing it as early as I did. My plan was to originally move after the convention, after Auto Assembly, which I still made it to, but of course, but I'll get to that in a bit. My plan was to always leave it, my plan was to move at the end of August. However, my grandmother's health started severely failing. And 2 days before I actually decided that I was going to move, we had a very bad scare with her where we nearly lost her. So I actually ended up moving not just a month and a half before I intended to, an actual further 2 days, which was all fun and Jonix. I came over with my mother's car, which is a massive long freaking estate of a Volvo, full of stuff. Mostly clothes, not so many books because I'd given away a lot of my books when I got a Kindle. Books. I sold all my workshop stuff, bar my Wood Elves and my Eldar. But books, board games. I brought all my comics with me. Transformers that I kept my masterpieces, which will get me onto my my next point, which is, am I going to be doing any more videos? I'll hold your horses to that one. You can just wait till I'm ready to tell you. You can tell from the smile what the answer's going to be, but there we go. My masterpieces I kept. My Mega Man stuff, the Bandai X Art stuff, the new Mega Man stuff that came out, I've kept them. I kept anything that was a gift. So the Black Leo Prime that Michael Shepardson bought me, and I'm fairly sure that's the wrong name. The Masterpiece Thundercracker that Dave bought me. A Beast Wars figure that Matt bought me. I'm trying to think what else I kept. The awesome Darth Vader that Adam got me for Christmas one year. I kept a few bits and bobs. I kept Skystalker. I kept 2.0 Cyclonus because that had to be kept because it was awesome. Though I did get rid of the other 4 molds that I had. 4 molds? 3 molds that I had for him. I kept Alternity Megatron because it's Samurai Megatron. I kept Alternators Swindle because I really liked it. I kept Alternators Silver Street because it was the first alternators that I bought. I never really. I kept a few things that were momentous because you know what, it was and still is a huge part of my life. Some of my best friends are Transform. Actually, no, nearly all my best friends are Transformers geeks, and I couldn't part with all that, and I couldn't leave all that behind me. Some things I had to hold on to. but the vast 99% of all my Transformers are sold. I mean, I kept my Wood Elf army, A, because it's so nicely painted, but B, my father bought me my initial opening box starter set. I kept my Eldar, because again, they were nicely painted, and I want the Titans from Forge World, which I will buy at some point, though I do know that my girlfriend will probably slap me silly for spending so much ridiculous amounts of money on something so petty and needless, despite the fact that she absolutely loved the dragon that I painted for her for her birthday, but there we go. You know, so certain things were kept. You know, all my comics were kept. My Horus Heresy book, well, all my Black Library was kept. You know, but a lot of it had to go because it was simply too much stuff. Now, sadly, we lost my grandmother at the end of August, nearly a year down the line to when we lost my father. But that wasn't, in many regards, as bad. I mean, I had my girlfriend, who was absolutely paramount in keeping me sane when all that happened. But A, she was 91. Her health was failing. You know, she never lost it upstairs, unlike my grandfather, who was getting very bad with Alzheimer's. So we lost her in August. And as such, because I'm living here, I'm currently sorting everything out with, you know, all the probates and the wills and the executors and sorting this out. But luckily, Ireland is much more easier to deal with than the UK because it's not quite as bureaucratic in some regards. In other regards, it's very bureaucratic. But also, you know, so all that's getting sorted out. But on the whole, it was a massive, massive decision that was right for me. You know, I did leave behind some very good friends. I mean, when myself and Philly's relationship went south, well, it had been going south for a long time, but certain things happened that I found out about at about a week and a half before Christmas, which the timing was really sucky, but there we go. I found out about, and certain people really, really helped me through it. Dave, Adam, Jamie, those three in particular, especially Adam, Repellent Found Dead, who I live with. I couldn't have got through it without him. He really kept me down to earth. Because I remember when I went through a bad breakup before, this was before I met with Philly, I went off the fucking rails completely. Oh wow, I just swore in my video. I don't usually do that. Oh well. I went off the rails completely. I spent 6 months in a bottle. This time I went the other way round. I actually decided to get my life together and get myself sorted out. You know, I was unhappy with how I looked. I was unhappy with what I was doing. I was unhappy in general. So I changed it, and I changed it for the better. You know, and I've been back now 4 months, and it was the best decision I could have made. I mean, okay, I can say I should have done it years ago, and wishful thinking says that I could, but practicality and pragmaticality says you couldn't have, because if I'd have done it years ago, then everything that happened with my father I would have missed. So I couldn't have done it years ago, but the wish is still there. But overall, it was something so right that I had to do. And yes, you know, there were doubts from both myself, you know, what am I doing? You know, there were times I thought, my God, the pressure of this is going to crucify me. I'm moving country, I'm uprooting my entire existence and going. So there were doubts from myself and from my friends and from my family, but I don't know anyone who doesn't say that now it was a good idea. When they see me now, when they see how I was at AA this year compared to how I was at AA last year. Okay, last year was a bit of a bad example because it was the same time as my father's funeral. But, you know, the difference in me, you know, I mean, everyone says, you know, the amount of weight that I've lost, the difference in me weight-wise and how I am now and how I'm acting a lot more like I used to when I first started doing all these videos. And the change in my personality and the change in my own personal well-being and the change, I'm not as angry as I was. I was very angry, and that's very resplendent on some of the forums that I belong to. I was just the entire time, amongst other things, but that's changed. But I needed the time to get myself together, and that included time away from YouTube. And I have said in my, you know, I always said in my earlier videos that when it came down to doing the videos, I do them because I enjoy doing them. I don't do them because I feel that I should. And as soon as I felt like I had to, it stopped being fun. And they did stop being fun, which is one of the reasons why they got sparser and sparser in between. Also, I was really running out of ideas. I was really running out of ideas. I went from doing a video every single week to one every 2 weeks. And then it was maybe one a month interspersed with other videos about other things. And I did, to a certain degree, lose the core of what I was. And I think, a psychiatrist could probably look at that and say, well, that was you losing your own sense of identity. Well, whatever that kind of pseudo bullshit is, I'm back, baby! Like Optimus Prime, I've just come back from the fucking dead, whether people wanted me to or not. Yes, I have returned. But it won't be in the same summer as before, mainly because if I went back to the scale of doing Transformer reviews, i.e. one a week, I'd be out of stuff to do in about a month. Well, maybe not a month, maybe 3, 4. Yeah, 3 or 4. Because I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 masterpieces, Skystalker, Alternative Silverstreak, Alternative Swindle, Alternity Megatron, a few bits and pieces of the Micromasters, Star Wars Darth Vader, which there is no way in hell I'm ever going to attempt to transform, A, on camera, or B, without Adam's help. A few bits and pieces I've kept, but I have got more stuff coming. Yes, to the chagrin of my darling dear other half, who goes, why'd you buy that? You need to buy other things for the house. There's other things you need for the house. It's like, yes, but this is a Transformer. Do you not understand the depths of my obsession, woman? I must have the plastic crack. Excuse me. But anyway, yes, I have just bought something in the form of Masterpiece Sideswipe. It is bought and it is paid for. So I have 7, maybe 8 Transformer videos planned. Masterpiece Sideswipe, and to those of you who may remember, I did do a video review of the individual combiners for individual Transformers for individual combiners. Well, I've got another idea with that, in the form of TFC aerial bots. I don't give a shit what they're actually called. They're the fucking aerial bots. I don't give a shit what the Devastator was called. It's fucking Constructicons. And I'm swearing again. My God. That's me being back home, because we swear like troopers over here. It's what we do. God, you should hear me when I'm out with some of my friends, some of my old friends, and my accent just slips back completely. It's quite bizarre. So those video reviews are going to be coming up as and when they come out. Will I be going back to the same frequency that I used to do reviews? Again, no. Partly because I've already made a pun about, I've run out of stuff to do within 2 months. But also because whilst I still intend to remain a collector, and I will always be a geek, one way or another, I will always be a geek. I don't want to have a house full of stuff again. Mainly because I can't afford it. Though I am working, I have a job, which, in this country, in this economy, with Ender Kenny being as much of a cock end as he is, that's quite something. So I have a job. It's not great. I could kill the manager, because I could manage circles around her. That woman couldn't manage her way out of a corridor if she was facing the right direction with a road map. But there we go. So that's all going to come about again. I have a job, I'm getting paid, but, not to mention the Transformers market here isn't as huge as it was. I've started watching it. I'm starting going through Transformers Prime, which I have to say I'm really enjoying, despite the fact that I really petered out after about... Once Wheel Drift came into it, I just boring now. But that's come back, and that I'm really enjoying doing, and everything else. So that's going to come along. My house is, and it is, my house is quite, a little bit geeky. You can't really tell, but I've got framed comics down one wall, framed comics down the other. Well, the ones that are framed on this side of the wall are the ones that are signed by Michael Bell, Townsend Coleman, Greg Berger, and Dangle Vezin. And then the other side, on either side of the bay window, because I love bay windows and I have a bay window in this house. It's fantastic. I have my MicroMasters 20th Anniversary Special Edition 4 prints, and I have All Hail Megatron on the other side. Now, everyone's been thinking, All Hail Megatron? Why All Hail Megatron? 2 reasons! 3 reasons! 1, it's my house, I'll do what the hell I like. 2, I actually quite liked All Hail Megatron, excluding the dreadlocks. And 3, it's the only 4-part series that I have. Though I am thinking that I'm going to add more, maybe put some of the spotlights and things like that. But it's just buying all the frames all in one go, despite the fact that my missus works in Tesco and I get a discount. So what does the future hold for myself? Well, myself, hopefully it will be hale and hearty, good friends, good times, good food, good people. That includes people here and people out there. I'm going to try and make more of an effort to come back on the scene. I have been very absent the last 12 months, and there are reasons behind that. I had a lot of healing to do. You know, I had a lot of genuine emotional healing and things that I needed to get through and things that I needed to do. But now I want to come back a little bit. I want to thank all you guys for your patience. I have gratefully received your messages saying we hope you come back. And I've come back! You know, and hopefully, as I said, I won't be back in the same spirit as before. That's not going to happen. Purely because I don't want to go back. I don't want to live in the past. To the degree that I don't want to try to make all my old videos again. That's why I haven't taken them down. But I do want to get myself back involved. That includes going back and doing things like podcasts, and because I haven't done a podcast in so long now. I've got some work coming out soon for a DVD commentary, which is probably my first bit of work that I've done in a while in regards to anything, including the fandom. But keep an eye out for my videos. I mean, they probably. I want to get myself a decent video camera, so I'm not recording everything off my phone. So hopefully this will be the only one that I record on my phone. I need to find an Argus. There's supposed to be one opening up in town, actually. Never mind. And a final message to all those who've messaged me over YouTube. To be honest, I've only logged in once or twice, and I haven't had the energy to reply. But to those who did message me, to those who said concern, thank you. It is appreciated now, even if it wasn't properly appreciated at the time, and I can only apologise for that. But to those of you who can understand just how dark a person can get when a lot of things, basically just shit gets you down, it's what happens. It's what happens. But thank you so much for your concern, and thank you so much for actually staying subscribed to me. And I've lost about 600-700 subscribers. Fair enough. I cannot fault anyone for that one, for not staying and watching my videos, because obviously I've been gone for so long. So I can completely understand that. To those of you who stayed in the hope that I'll put up new videos or just couldn't be bothered to delete me, thank you. It's good to still be here, and it's good to to try and come back a little bit, even if it's not in the same epic shitstorms of things like Masterpiece Megatrons, or Fort Maxes, or RID Omega Primes and things like that. Just to have my own little corner again. My own little corner where I can sit and smile and say, it's good to be part of this. It's good to be part of this world. AA 2013? Oh, hell yeah. But for now, before the next video, which I don't know whether it's going to be Masterpiece Sideswipe, and I don't know whether it's going to be TFC Fireflight. I don't give a shit. He's not called Uranus. Because there's so many jokes I can make about that. Butt jokes for the win! Yeah, there's so many jokes I can make about that, but I won't. Yet. But we shall see. But for now, hold on to your britches. And this is Silverbolt signing off, saying au revoir, adios, auf Wiedersehen.